Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, August 6, 2025. Is Apple back from being a sleeping giant? Market rallying pretty nicely today. We'll get into that and a couple of other things as well. First, if you give the video a thumbs up, helps out the channel very much. I appreciate it. Subscribing, comment your thoughts. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts analysis and live day trading. Again, having the Gamma Boy terminal is a huge asset. I talked about this the other day, saying AMD 160. This is a level we were able to day trade today, and that was called out very nicely, and that did mark the low there. We also had, obviously, mentioned Apple. Beautiful bounce off the lows there, but Apple, big move pre-market, right? Tim cooked in the White House, not the White House chef, but he was cooking nonetheless. And again, still that 215 area, so that area remains sticky. Obviously, the White House like doubling their commitment to Apple today. I think $100 billion, and right to the 215 handle, and through that it is priced up to 220 for next week. So that's something that we're watching. We also had Amazon catching a nice bid. I talked about the 215 handle. That is something that we did pick up long with swing trades too. Late last week, and nice push. So if this can hold above 220, they'll force hedges up, even to 220 and higher potentially. So markets here having a nice little rally here today. And does that mean that we're going to go make new highs? It is certainly possible. I would say, I don't want to speculate too much, but we do have a lot of resistance here at 63.50. I'll be interested to see which way this goes tomorrow. Right now, it was one of the big things here outside of Apple is the fact that the market right now, to me, I mean, obviously, if you haven't heard, Trump has been kind of sniffing out, not Trump sniffing out, Trump has been on the phone with Zelensky. The market is sniffing out peace. The market is starting to sniff out this peace deal. And Putin has been on there talking about, weighing in as well. And you can see it here in oil too. So oil took a little bit of a dump today. It did move higher. A lot of tariff news in and out here, but it's ended up much lower here today. Not like terrible. I mean, it didn't like break the lows or anything, but it's definitely down quite a bit. And if we lose this level here, we'd be looking at like, I gotta adjust this because this is an old. Gotta bring it down to like here. So we'll say 60 to 61. Heck, you could even let's just say $60 on oil. But obviously, regardless, the market is sniffing that out. And I think if we're looking for some sort of a topping catalyst, that could certainly be it. And if we get that in the next week or so. But nonetheless, markets here up 73 basis points. Again, Apple, Amazon definitely leading. Notice Apple and Tesla always like to trade together. And Tesla was up 3.6 today. Yes, you did have other Mag 7 stocks up. NVIDIA was up $1. Never took out yesterday's high. Broadcom was up 3 points. It just got to yesterday's high. We had Meta, but pretty much an inside day. Microsoft was down actually. Google sold off a little bit towards the end of the day. Again, still a bullish chart and everything, but it was really Apple moving, almost 6% at one point in a single session. And you might say, well, it's only 5%. This is a multi-trillion-dollar company. 5% is a lot of weight for the Nasdaq and even in the S&P. So again, that's always been sort of that's been like the ace in the hole that bulls have had here, which is that even if NVIDIA and Broadcom and Microsoft and all these other names start to top out and we see profit taking, this goes up. If the jaws snap shut, right, like the Apple to NVIDIA ratio, the Apple to QQQ ratio starts to snap shut, that can just, really kind of offset itself and offset a lot of the negativity. And in fact, I want to show you this chart because it is quite eye-opening, right? Apple here versus the triple Qs. We're at a multi-year low. And I know there's probably a lot of people, oh, what about a Head and Shoulders? I mean, yeah, these patterns are kind of not my favorite anyway. But, this to me, if this is a normal chart, I'd actually like this here because I like this kind of liquidity grabbing setup where you have a divergent low and no follow through. So we'll see. Those jaws tend to snap shut. And again, this is the most passive flow stock in the world. It's not something that underperforms for a while. And I also think it's funny how people like decide to make fun of me for recommending Apple. The stock that's like literally been the best buy over the last 30 years. Well, Aaron, what about Nvidia? Nvidia's gone up more. Nvidia's gone up more in the last 2 or 3 years if we're just talking about that. But if you took a mortgage out, if you took a loan on Apple at any time before 2023, a loan to buy a house versus Apple or Nvidia, who do you think is going to give you what rate are you going to get from the bank, right? So it's really just a last couple of years story. I mean, anybody could cherry pick that. You could cherry pick SMCI, right? During this time. But Apple's been the best hold here, and yeah, I know. Sue me for recommending a stock that just went sideways for a few weeks since since we bought it, it's gone up. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. Well, let me know in the comments, how much better your returns are than mine. But anyway, S&P here having a nice little gain today. 63.50 was sort of the high there. And Apple, again, 215. If that breaks, 220. And then, honestly, 230 can get touched here. We're also keeping an eye on Amazon. 225 will also be a big level there. The Qs here had a nice move. And, again, up at 1.25. Looks like they just got above yesterday's high. And we did get a nice day trade off on this morning too, right before that move. So NQ is a nice gain in addition to AMD. 570 still a big level for QQQ. 635 will be big on the spiders tomorrow. So we're keeping an eye on those. Russell took a little bit of a breather here, flat on the day after a nice bounce the last two sessions. And again, Russell 2000 again, right? Beautiful back test there. And if you look kind of on the hourly, for instance, or let's use a 4 hour, you're going to see, this is kind of just retesting this zone. So breaking back inside of that negates this sell. So bulls want to see that. Bulls want to see back above this kind of a, 20 DMA here. Diamond on the day, up 83 cents. So again, kind of taking a breather as well. SMH was still down. SMCI took a big hit. Another level was called out in the trading room today with our terminal. Again, $45, right on the money. And that could have been, a day trade right there. But there was a lot of them out there today. But SMCI, AMD obviously dragging semis down. And, we've seen this distribution going on here for a while. We've been talking about it. IGV up 1.14. Again, still inside. Palantir, another level called out, 180. Right? There it is. Went right there. High of the day, 180.58. It did get a little pop into the close, though, but it would have been a good scalp, though. Transports on the day, again, nice rebound. Got to clear that 200 MA, and I want to see it get back above, we're going to say 15.8, right? This is where we broke down from. So that's going to be resistance on the charts there. 2-year note got a bid. TLT, another level that we called out on Monday. I said, guys, 87, that's the dip buy. And we got the sweep on that news. And it's just like, I'm not joking about these levels here. This is something that I talked about on Monday in the trading room. Said 87, guys. Well, that's the dip buy this week. I wish I could have gotten an order in. I didn't know it just moved so quickly. But yeah, the options market is wild if you know how to analyze it. All I'm doing is looking at market maker positioning. And it works out really well here. Nice possible W too on TLT. I'll give it that right now. 30-year yield. If you want to talk about head and shoulders, there you go. Possible. Anyway, XHB down 73 cents. Was strong earlier. Yeah, it gapped up, and so was IYR, but it did come in at the end of the day. So got to be careful with IYR here because you may have a lower high. So that, you got to be careful here with this now. XLF up 25 cents. So pedestrian move there. KRE was down fractionally. Broker dealers were down as well. Talked about oil down on the day holding the 200 MA. XLE was down but it held yesterday's low. But definitely in a little bit of weaker position here. XOP and OIH also weak. We had dollar index here down. So it did negate this inverse head and shoulder. So we're going to get rid of that. Not saying it can't go up anymore, but we don't look at that pattern anymore. No, yeah, I'd want to see it hold 98, honestly. Gold started off the morning pretty strong, ended up flat. Yeah, and again, higher low to yesterday with equal highs, so nothing really wrong. Trend is up. And also GDX at 52-week high, multi-year highs, really. That's a huge positive for gold. Silver was strong this morning too, and it finished pretty strong on the day. SIL new highs as well, or just shy of that, if not, yeah, right in that range. Platinum also continuing to hold the 50 MA. Palladium testing the 50 MA, so this will be interesting here. I want to see that reclaim 1200. Copper still hasn't stopped me out somehow, which again, it's a runner size, so it doesn't matter if it does or not. But really amazing how the volatility just dies out after a move like that. It's pretty incredible. Like the last time this happened, we had a really good bounce, and then it just, even here, look at how just this is in one day. Like this is in 10 minutes probably. 519. That's 40 cents there. Right. The volatility died out after, but still, just pretty crazy to see it that quiet here. But anyway, Bitcoin on the day, yeah, held up. So, it's pretty much strong for most of the day here. Trying to work on a little micro bull pattern here. So again, kind of like, I don't even know if the 4 hours is that good. Let's try like a 12. Yeah, so you can kind of see like up and then kind of the pullback pattern. Got to break back 116, right? So that's, again, still, we're inside of this range. We broke it. So back above 116, I think, is the spot there. Might need to base a little bit. But, it's holding up, right? And ETH, again, still having that outperformance here from the alts for the most part here. All right, so, yeah, anyway, spiders, good day here. Nice bounce. Nice to see Apple waking up. And, if it can break through, look, this has been resistance forever. Looking at the weekly here, again, you still got this inside bar, and you got another one here. So technically, you got two inside bar patterns. And we'll see if that wins. They're both bullish. So we'll see if that can carry us higher. But be, on the lookout here. The market is starting to sniff out peace deals, trade deals, all sorts of things. And that could get us to some sort of maybe a euphoria move. Otherwise, it's up to bears to put in a lower high. But yeah, I'm watching 635 tomorrow on the SPY. I think that'll be a big area. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.